Okay, this is chapter 44 of The Night Singer. 44. There was just one bite of pancake left. Rebecca raised it to her mouth, broke it down between her teeth, and swallowed. She had to keep it together, for Molly's sake, but the journalist's words were racing around her head like trapped rats. Increasingly panicked, she had begun gnawing her way out. Petrie was busy filling the dishwasher, but he kept glancing over at her. Molly, too, despite having long since finished her breakfast. Her lips were moving. "What was that, sweetie? I didn't hear," Rebecca said. "Do you want another one?" When Rebecca said no, Molly leaped up and ran off to watch TV. Petrie put down the jam-smeared plate he was holding and took Molly's seat at the table. "What's going on?" he asked. "Tell me." Both his voice and his face were full of pleading, and his fears of being shut out made Rebecca anxious. It was another responsibility she didn't need right now. She had enough on her plate as it was. She also didn't understand it. Where had this new eagerness to talk come from? "That call, it was a journalist," she said. "Axel is being held on suspicion of murdering Joel, and she wanted to know what I thought." Petrie reached out and touched her shoulder, and she had to make a real effort not to shake off his hand. "You need to call Hannah," he said. "I just spoke to her before I came downstairs. She didn't say a word about any of this." Petrie's hand moved up to her neck, his fingers brushing her hairline. Rebecca usually loved it when he did that. "Maybe the journalist was just trying her luck, to see what you knew." Rebecca's anger and fear had to go somewhere, and she unleashed both on him. "Why the hell would she do that?" Petrie chose to duck. "What did Hannah say when you spoke?" "She asked if Joel was gay." "And what did you tell her?" "That I thought he might be, but that we'd never talked about it." Petrie turned towards the window. He seemed so focused that Rebecca wondered what he could be looking at out there, and was surprised to see that there was nothing outside. "What is it?" she asked. She sounded more annoyed than she intended, but it was so obvious that he was grappling with something. Was it Joel's sexual orientation? Was that why he had never really been able to love him? "Come on," she pushed him. "There's something I need to tell you," said Petrie, his grip on her neck tightening. He may as well have thrown a bucket of icy water over her, because Rebecca felt a paralyzing chill. This time she was the only one who felt like pleading with him. "Don't. I can't handle any more." Why had she put pressure on him? She didn't want to be here. She wanted to be back beneath the duvet. "I saw Joel with a man in Farston. It caught my attention because the other guy was much older and I didn't recognize him. They seemed angry with one another, too. Or Joel seemed angry anyway." "Why didn't you say anything?" "I spoke to Joel about it and he told me not to mention it to you." "Why?" Petrie shook his head in resignation. Rebecca felt like hitting him, like roaring that he shouldn't have listened to Joel. If he had just told her, she might have been able to prevent all this. It was a feeling she couldn't shake off, that there was a chain of events leading up to Joel's death, and that it could have been broken somewhere along the line, that it didn't have to end up this way. Everything had come crashing down, and she was left with a pile of fragments she didn't know what to do with. Her anger boiled over. "You should have said something," she shouted, pulling away from Petrie's hand on her neck. "I was trying to be a father to Joel like you wanted me to." Petrie glanced uncertainly toward the living room, but not even the thought of Molly could help Rebecca control the chaos now. "He's dead. Don't you understand that everything changed the minute he died?" "Yes, but it felt wrong that I didn't tell you right away. Plus I have trouble." "It felt wrong," Rebecca cut him off, mimicking his voice. "Stop," Petrie hissed. "I've been trying to talk to you, but it really hasn't been easy." "You can't fucking blame me because you didn't manage to say anything sooner." "You could have said something, too." "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" "Do you think I'm totally fucking blind?" Petrie's voice was still no louder than a hiss, but the rage spilling out of his narrowed eyes scared her more than anything she had ever seen in him before. "I knew there was someone else," he said, "but do you know how it felt to go over there on Tuesday and realize it was Gabriel?"